This tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use CocoaPods with Xcode, which is a nice way to add different APIs to your Xcode projects. And before this, you used to have to do all kinds of imports and adding frameworks. This actually makes it a little bit easier, but it is a little process that you need to know how to go about. This is a project I've already done it with. I'm going to show you from scratch here. I'm going to go ahead and in Xcode, go to New Project, and I'm just going to make this a single view iOS project, and we'll say CocoaPods project. Just as a test project, I'm going to do it in Swift and iPhone, and I'm going to hit next and save this where I save all my projects. All right, and so I have that created, and I'm actually going to get out of this now, and I'm going to bring up my little cheat sheet here. So if and this process I'm showing you is for a Mac, because this is Xcode, so you're going to be on a Mac. Anyway, you should by default, most Macs have Ruby on Rails already installed. If you don't, I'm going to share this little cheat sheet with you. These are some command lines in terminal that you'll have to run to install Ruby. But I'm gonna say that you should have that installed. If not, though, just go ahead and run these in the command line, and you should be good to go. All right, so then your next step is you have, you're coming on your computer, you have Ruby on Rails, you should already have it, is you're going to run this line right here. And let me just bring up terminal. And this line right here, sudo gem install CocoaPods, basically that's what it does. It installs that version, it installs CocoaPods so you can use it. I'm going to just come down here real quick. I noticed for some people that you don't want to use the sudo command. You actually just want to say gem install CocoaPods. So if you have a trouble with this command for installing CocoaPods, then go ahead, I'll make this available too so you have it. Go ahead and uninstall and then install it without the keyword sudo and just gem install. And then you kind of work from there. Okay, I just wanted to point that out. And actually, I had to do this when I installed it. So it didn't work for me, so I had to uninstall it and just install with the gem keyword. But I've talked to other people who didn't have to do that. I'm not sure what makes it so that you have to or not have to use the word sudo when you're installing this line right here. Anyway, let's move on. So I'm going to assume you did this, right? It might take a few minutes to load the CocoaPods on your system. I've already done it, so I'm going to kind of skip that. But that should probably be your first step, is to run this line. Then your next step is, all right, so now you have CocoaPods on your system. Now you're going to navigate to the new project that we just created using CD, right? So mine is in my Dropbox folder, and I actually have a folder in there called Apple. And what did I just call that project? I called it CocoaPods project, right? So CD CocoaPods project, and there we are. So I'm in the folder where my project exists. And just so you see, let me bring this over. So that's right here, okay? And so I'll move that out of the way. I'm gonna come back to that though. So then our next step after we do that is to put in pod init, and you can't do this unless you're in the project folder. Do that, and that sets up now if I come back to this folder, you'll see there's a pod file, right? Which is great. Now we're going to say touch pod file, which is the name of that file. And that's good. That just kind of sets up the file. And so next is this is the time where you can actually open that file. So you can double click on it. If it doesn't open for you by default, you can open it in text edit, and you can get rid of this stuff that it kind of puts in by default, these targets, do and end. Don't need that. But if you're using Swift, which I am, you want to uncomment out these two lines. So you should have the platform 8.0 and the use frameworks available. And then you can add whatever pod you want to add. And a popular one is these are some popular ones. That's why I kind of included them. But you can just do a quick Google search. I'm going to get rid of Firebase there and just do these two for right now. You can do a quick Google search for any framework that you want to use, and it'll let you know the latest version. If you do like Swifty JSON, CocoaPods version, look it up, and it should be one of the first results. And then that's how you get this line right here. That's what I did. I just did a search and found it. It's all available online. So anyway, you would save that file now. You can get on out of there. And so our next step is to install the pods, and that's really just pod install in the command line. Now this could take a few moments, as it's going to go ahead and add some files and folders and whatnot to your project. All right, actually, that was a little quicker than I thought it would be. And so what you do now is let's go back to that Finder folder, and you'll notice that we have like this whole folder here. The key thing that we have though is this workspace file. Now, when you open this project to work on it, this is what you want to double click. You don't want to use the .xcode project. You want to use this .workspace. So you double click on that, and that brings you up here, and you have this whole separate pods file. But you're going to work in, this is your project, right? And you come in here, Swift, and I could start using anything that I need to relate it, and you can kind of see which pod you got by. I'm sorry, I was in the wrong one. So down in here, you can see you have a modifier and Swifty JSON, and so you could start using them. You could go ahead and take a look in here and see there's all these related files. So anything that you want to program for them, you could start doing now. I may have a follow-up. I'm going to have a follow-up for how to use both of these interfaces, but this is the kind of getting started one that you would want to, that you need to do before you can use them. All right, so thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. If there's anything that wasn't clear, I'd be happy to have a follow-up video. Thanks.